Welcome everybody to episode 8 of the AIM Aftermath. I am your host, Mr. Wolf, coming to you live from my home office here in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. We're going to look at angles today. Let's do it. Let's get started. Alright, up first, as always, are notes. Looking at your notes for angles. Now, a lot of times, like I say, teachers only have a little bit of a time in class to go over the lesson. If as you're taking notes, the teacher might be going too fast, again, raise your hand. If you're too shy, come up to them later. But the best thing to do is to make sure they don't erase it if you have a whiteboard in your classroom, or switch to the next slide if you have a smartboard in your room. Just let them know that you're not fast enough to take all these notes down. You want everything that you need for each one. Sometimes it's in your book, sometimes it's not. So just like I said, raise your hand. Ask them to slow down so you can have everything in your notes that you need for those 4 categories, okay? So we're going to look at the next couple of slides. There's going to be some definitions, some examples, so jot those down, be at the ready, and we'll come back in just a few minutes.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Angles, your objectives. Identify angles as acute, obtuse, straight, and right. Identify vertical and adjacent angles. Identify the measure of complementary and supplementary angles. Angle vocabulary. Angle, when 2 rays share a common initial point. Vertex, the common point of the angle. On this angle to the right, the vertex is A. On this angle, the sides are AM and AN. The name of the angle is, we write angle ABC as angle 1, or CBA. To measure angles, we use a unit that is called a degree. To show the measure of an angle, we use the symbol lowercase m before the name of the angle. For example, for the angles above, m is the measure of BAC equals 68. How to classify angles. Acute angle, an angle that is less than 90 degrees. The degrees are 1 to 89. Right angle, an angle that is exactly 90 degrees. Degrees 90. Obtuse angle, an angle that is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees. Degrees 91 to 179. Straight angle, an angle that is 180 degrees exactly. Degrees 180. Pairs of angles. Vertical angles. These are the angles that are opposite each other when 2 lines cross. They have the same measurement, or equal angles, and are called congruent. What are the angles shown here? Adjacent angles. 2 angles are adjacent when they have a common vertex, or corner point, and a common side and don't overlap. What are the adjacent angles shown below? Complementary and supplementary. Complementary angles are 2 angles that add up to 90 degrees. The 2 angles do not have to be next to each other. They just have to add up to 90 degrees. Each complementary angle is called the complement of the other. Supplementary angles. 2 angles that add up to 180 degrees. The 2 angles do not have to be next to each other. They just have to add up to 180. Each complementary angle is called the supplement of the other. And finally, bisectors. The bisector of an angle is a segment or a ray that passes through the vertex of an angle and splits it into two congruent angles. In this figure, PA is the bisector of angle QPM. This means that angle QPM is divided into two congruent angles by AP. Alright, if you were following along in those notes, you have 12 terms, definitions, and examples so far in your notes. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are probably other sub-vocabulary terms that you might not have seen in the main definition, but were also in the sub-notes to try and give you more help in knowing that definition. The three are congruent, complement, supplement. Alright, now we've come to the part of our video where it's time to try out what we have already taken notes on. Don't adjust your sets. My video, for some reason, when the lighting goes down, it turns black and white. I'm not sure. It is starting to snow now, so that is why everything is now black and white. You have not gone into the Wizard of Oz. We didn't change the coloring on purpose. We didn't change anything. It's just for some reason the video changes to black and white when it gets dark outside. So, alright, so now that we have everything in our notes, we've got all the definitions, we've got the examples, it's now time to do a little bit of trying it out. So, we've got some slides coming up here with some questions. Write those down, and you'll see the answers at the end in the credits. See how well you do? Let's go ahead, let's try it out. What type of angle are these shown? There are 5 different ways to name it. In the figure shown below, find the measure of angle TAF and the measure of angle TAB. At the bottom, what are the adjacent angles? Are all adjacent angles congruent? What is the complementary angle to a 53-degree angle? What is the supplementary angle to a 93-degree angle? Well, that'll about do it for episode 8 of the AIM Aftermath. Thank you so much for making me a part of your day. Again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below if this session worked for you, or if it didn't. And another thing is, if you have a suggestion for future episodes, leave that in the comments as well. If you have a Twitter account and want to leave me a tweet, a question, again, comments, concerns, comments, issues, whatever it takes, leave it to me at AIM Aftermath, right there. Also, something new. We're going to try to start a mailbag-only show. If you have questions, concerns, comments, issues, whatever it is in math, it doesn't have to be about the episodes that we have. It could be about me, getting to know me a little bit more. Whatever. Go to aimaftermath@gmail.com, right there. If you want to do that, leave me a message. Maybe your question will be on the show here in a future episode. Well, that'll about do it again, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Until next time, bye-bye, and may the math be with you. Always. Wait, what? Oh, what? Oh. Oh! I didn't. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Sorry, hold on. Here are the answers to earlier. Sorry about that. What?
If you think he's some kind of brainiac, I know it all, some kind of a whiz, got more answers than an almanac. Let's take a quiz. If you think you're extraordinary, cut above the best that there is. If your cranial capacity is something scary, let's take a quiz. Let's all take